Okay. So today's topic is self-worth. Okay. So let's just dive deep into it.
Oh my God, Pala's curtains look so scary.
I know. Tell me about it. I also thought like that. Something is hiding behind it. Okay. Okay. So let's make it interactive. Okay. So what is your definition? Again, don't become theoretical. What is for you? Be like that. What is your definition of self-worth? Okay. Navina.
Yeah, so for me is that I am confident, I love myself. That is what is self-worth for me. That I appreciate and accept this way I am. That is what is self-worth for me.
Okay. For Anna?
For me, it's not requiring external validation. That is.
Okay, that's good. Anita?
How I see myself, Eshanye.
Okay. Pala?
Accepting what I am and with love, especially, and also no external validation.
Okay. Parveen?
You're on mute.
Unmute.
I love myself and I accept myself as I am. And I never require anything, what everyone is saying, any external validation, nothing of the sort. To begin
Okay.
with, earlier there was certain things, but I'm talking at present.
Okay. We just talk what we are right now. Okay,
Right.
what we feel about.
Yes.
Shiraz.
I am what I am. I don't need any external validation for who I am.
Yes.
Okay. So Neha B.
Just asking that, I was like, what's the question being asked that we're answering?
Okay, once again. The
Sorry, I
question
just
is,
wanted to
no problem. Anyway, there are Kusum, Ritika, and quite a few other people. The question was, what is self-worth according to you?
Self-worth is what I see about myself, which I'm okay with. And it doesn't matter if anyone else sees it or not. But if I do something which my conscience makes me uncomfortable about, and I don't feel like that's good enough, that's when I don't have that. I just don't feel okay and worthy about it at that day, at that time. But I just think eventually if I find a way to work with it, then yeah, I can forgive myself and continue going with the flow. Yeah. To me, that's self-worth.
Weena?
Hello, hi.
Tell me, what is according to you is self-worth?
Feeling worthy enough.
Okay. Fine. Pushpa?
Yeah, what was the question? I just joined.
Question was, what is according to you is self-worth? We are thinking only about ourselves and then we are talking.
Self-worth is being worthy about yourself and proud about yourself.
Okay. Kusum?
Being comfortable in your own skin.
Okay. Ritika?
Yeah, self-worth is the value that I have of me, what I think about myself.
Okay. So basically, I asked everybody, and mostly everybody pointed out exactly what we think is as self-worth, right?
Yeah.
Now, so self-worth, if I am to summarize, is the value I give it to my life
Yeah.
and the achievements I have done. I'm proud of myself, basically. That is basically the self-worth. Self-worth and being proud always go hand in hand. Sometimes when you're not proud of yourself, then you know that you're feeling little low in your self-worth. Okay? So that is one way of identifying your self-worth. And is it same as self-esteem and what else? Confidence?
Not necessarily.
Okay. So basically, self-worth is something very basic, or it is the underlying feeling. Self-esteem is something, the expression of the self-worth. Meaning, if you have the self-worth, you will have self-esteem, which is maybe you are very confident about yourself, and maybe you're, what else? When you have self-worth, what else you'll feel? You feel good about yourself. You feel proud about yourself. Okay? All of these are measures of your, you can say the self-esteem is a measure of your self-worth.
Confident.
Yeah, being confident, feeling good about yourself, all of that, being proud, you're able to show yourself out to the world. All of these are self-esteem, part of the self-esteem, and that is the expression of self-worth. Now, is it possible that you don't have self-worth, but you have self-esteem?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay, it's possible, but what happens is it will be like a mask. You don't have a substance inside, but you have something to showcase, and any moment it may go down the drain in different situations. You won't be able to hold yourself up. Okay. Also, either you will end up being a doormat, or you will end up being narcissistic person. So when we observe doormat, let's observe doormat, being doormat or being narcissistic. So, doormat is everybody is going to use you, and then you're always there for every other nonsense. And you don't feel that you are in the foreground, you're rather on the background and on the floor. Right? That is what is doormat. It feels more like a low energy, and it feels as if a victim of everything. Okay? So that is when you don't have self-esteem also, you don't have self-worth also. On the other hand, narcissistic people they're very toxic to others. So wherever there is a narcissistic person, opposite, there will always be one doormat. They have to go hand in hand. It's like feeding both actually, each other. So what happens is, these narcissistic people don't possess much of self-worth, but they're very confident about themselves. They know how to talk. They know how to argue. They know to cross-question and make sure that you feel doormat. And inside, if you start seeing, they will have insecurity of something. They may think that nobody likes them. They may think that no one likes them. They may think that they don't have enough ability to show themselves up as leaders, or whatever they're trying to show, actually they don't have that. But because of the situation, because of their past experiences or whatever, they have turned into being like that. Maybe there was a very bad situations in their house and they had to stand up like a leader or caretaker or something bigger, protector. But inside, because of whatever happened in their life, they are not confident about themselves. They feel that no one likes me. No one agrees to me. My way is not probably the right way. And they will also feel people around me are actually not doing well. And it's my responsibility to make everything well. But they don't have that capacity because they don't feel that self-worth about whatever they are, whoever they are, whatever they have. So what do? They kind of bully everybody in the pretext of taking care of them. And they make everyone else as doormats, basically. That's what they are. So that's a very good example of having high self-esteem, maybe zero self-worth. Okay. Now, when you find out people, you can so clearly know that you can help them out because they need help. But is it possible to change a narcissistic person? It's very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. So this is one thing. Now let us just try to see whether we suffer from low esteem, low self-worth, something like that. And it's not necessary that we have low self-worth. I had once had extreme low self-worth, but maybe when I was a child. But now I think so much more I have realized my worth. And as I realize my worth, I create that kind of opportunities around me, suiting that frequency. Okay. And so what happens is you need to start identifying worth if you want your life to change. They are not different. Your opportunities, this world, and your self-worth are not different. Navina, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask one thing. Like, suppose I consider myself that I have enough self-worth, self-esteem, everything. But the other person is not, although I don't need external validation, but suppose in the family, somebody is not recognizing you or not giving you up, not recognizing your true value. So is it that, because they say that whatever the outside people is role playing is something within you. So is it something that deep down maybe I am having low self-worth, although apparently on the surface I feel that I have enough self-worth, enough confidence, enough self-esteem. So is it possible?
Yes. It is possible. It's 100% possible that you don't have self-worth. Or let's say low self-worth, not necessarily zero self-worth, low self-worth. Now the question, I'll come to that later. The question is, why are we like that? There will be reasons behind it. Okay, so we'll come to that later. But it's 100% that we don't have self-worth. And it categorically we are probably, with some few people, we don't have self-worth at all. With some other situations we have. But self-worth is something it's like a characteristics of you. You can't juggle between, here I have higher self-worth, here I don't have, it cannot be. It's like a split personality. It doesn't work. Sooner or later, one will pull the other. Either you will become extremely self-worth and you leave all the people who are making you feel worthless, or you'll become a doormat. Because that is the characteristics. Okay? Yeah, so
So
let's.
basically you argue also, like lot many times, like I'm telling about myself, like I argue also, no, this is not what I am, or this is not what I meant, or something like that. So that is that I know what I am, but the other person is not understanding. So probably it's again comes down to the communication also, somewhere that I'm not able to communicate or act like that the other people gets the right thing. It also points to
Yeah,
that, right?
it is possible. But if the other person is more powerful than you are, no amount of communication will change.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, let's see. When we go further ahead, we will all understand much better. So, if we are experiencing some of these followings, probably we have some amount of low self-worth. Okay. So highest one, we don't have boundaries. We don't have strong boundaries, let's say that way. Everybody can stamp over you. Okay. And you have constant self-doubt. Meaning, am I doing the right thing? If I say like this, whether they will like it? These are the doubts. Then you are doubtful or you condemn about what you do. Because nobody appreciates you. Since nobody appreciates me, whatever I'm doing, I'll just do it secretly without even telling anybody what I'm doing. However good you are in that. It's like you are running your own separate parallel life where no one knows what you're doing. Maybe you're a great doctor, but no one is appreciating you in your house. Then you just vanish in the morning, come back in the night, and you don't tell anybody what you're doing. Because you don't feel that there is a stuff or matter which is interesting to share with everybody, because nobody seems to appreciate. And you struggle to believe that people can love you. You're a person which nobody probably love you, but you're there to take care of them or something like that. You're always there to take care of them, but there's not much of a difference between you and the kitchen you have. Just giving an example, not necessary, but now sometimes even somebody comes and tells you, compliments you, you just feel embarrassed to hear that. Or you have disbelief. Oh, is it so? Is it so? It was so good, is it? Oh my gosh, I can't believe. It's how it is. Okay. And if you're a person who is repeatedly told to keep others' need first and yours down, back. And if you're not even being told, if you are a person who will keep others' needs first and then your own. I'm not telling that in this whole world you become selfish and you are the first one. Not necessarily, but there has to be a balance. There has to be a give and take. There should be some times when people appreciate too, you too. Okay? And if you get to hear that you're so selfish, you're only thinking about yourself, then you're 100% sure that there is a narcissistic person talking to you. Because if genuinely somebody love you, if genuinely somebody feel that you're contributing to their lives everything or work everything, they will never say that. They will only encourage you. Now, sometimes you think that, it's okay, life is like this only, what to do? I'm okay with this. Let me just be with like this. So you're compromising on everything which is less. If you're really worthy enough, you can grow more. You can expect more. You can make a change. But you said, I can't do that anyway. Just like this. Not everybody gets everything good, no? We have these standard sentences to say. And sometimes you feel anxious all the time. There is a tension around when some people are around, either to keep them happy or to keep keep the problem at the bay. There is some expectations will be there, so you have to always meet that expectation. This is how probably the royal families in UK feel, according to me. Anyway, so it is like always trying to, satisfy some expectation. And you will feel that you'll never reach that. So you're already anxious about it. And okay, of course, you allow people to mistreat you. Okay. So maybe sometimes you feel that you have to beg for everything. I have to ask 100 times before I get what I want, and I get hurt. Even to ask, I get hurt. All of this. And you may feel depressed and unhappy. Or rather, you say, you may feel more sad and depressed compared to how much you feel happy. Something like that. And you don't know what in your life. Because you compromise so much on everything. You don't seek, you don't have a hope, you don't have a desire, and you don't have a wish. We should not use the word wish, Wish is something you already doubt that you don't get. Desire. So why this happens to us? Why can't just we are born with so much of good self-worth and we do so many amazing things in this world and we die and go? Why can't it be like that? Why should we develop this low self-esteem? Can anybody give me one or two answers?
Because of the experiences we have had in the past and we carry that baggage.
Okay, so experiences are experiences. They should be actually making you grow.
Right.
What you should
carrying it.
No, what you should say is trauma. Trauma is a different thing. Experience is different thing. Trauma pulls you down. Experiences make you grow, even if it's negative side.
Okay.
Okay. So this trauma created some core belief. I am not good. I am stupid. I am not able to handle everything. I have to struggle. I'm not good in anything. I'm not a creative person. I don't have money. All of these things are coming from the childhood. Then there is another one, which is a big reason why we get this low self-esteem is we are protecting ourselves some kind of fear. Okay. Now,
also, Isha, tendency to be belonged and people pleaser. When we try to be people pleasing and tendency to belong, that also creates that, right? I think low self-esteem.
That's part of the fear.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens is, childhood trauma and all, it can be even sexually assaulted by somebody, or it can be caretakers and they're commenting, judging on you, giving punishments, and all of this humiliations which you've undergone. Okay. All of this will cause trauma, huge trauma. And then so you will form core beliefs based on that. Now these core beliefs will work positive for you as well as negative for you. Remember that. It will have both. equal measure of both. Okay. So, so that is one thing. I'm ugly. I don't deserve to be happy and all of these things. Now, the second one we thought, what was that? The fear. Okay. So the fear will actually makes you the doormat. Correct? So what happens is like, I have to be low. I have, because I am not good enough, and I may be wrong. I might not be able to handle it. Basically, this childhood trauma and this go hand in hand. Okay. And that will make you as an adult to be in the fear. So that is when we become people pleaser, etc. But there is one more thing also, which is a little bit of a thing, which is you're so good. You're so good actually. There is some big self-worth for you. But you cannot show it to someone else because either they'll become jealousy, they will be doing that, or they may harm you, or in your culture, let's assume that you are a woman and the man takes the the authoritative figure, so you can't be better than him. Okay. Or you don't want people attention on you. Yeah, just 1 second, Parveen. So all of this, or you're so good in something, but you don't want to be that something special. What happens then? So you will shrink yourself, and you'll play a low figure, so that you protect yourself emotionally, mentally, physically. This is also a fear of insecurity, but that comes, and sometimes you want to make other people around you feel secure around you. So if they don't feel secure at all, then they will feel that it's like how when the teacher tells you, okay, come here and do the math sum, or come here, something. When you go stand there, this teacher is there who knows everything, and you can't just stand there and do it, right? So the teacher is better than you, bigger than you, and everybody will feel low. But in the context of the teacher, it is okay. You expect the teacher better be like that. But in life, you don't want people to feel insecure when you are around. You want to be belonged. So at that time also, you'll play low. So it's not that I have a lot of self-worth, so I'll play a little low. It's not like that. It will be like, I will pull myself down. I'll feel I'm not good enough, so that I am just like every other herd. I'm in the herd of the sheep. Herd mentality. I'll become like them. So this is also another possibility. Now there's one more possibility, which is inherited from ancestors. So there'll be generations of feeling low. My mother feels low, I feel low, grandmother feels low, everybody feel low. Okay, fine. So you have so easily inherited that. And it is like the parents, mother, father, whoever that may be, will teach the child also what they know about it. So it comes there. Okay. Now somebody in the family has to do some inner work and should say that, no, I want to get out of this. I won't allow people to do this to me anymore. This is high time. So then it may be tough, but that's what is called as inner work. So it can be inner child work, it can be shadow work, it can be ancestral work. All of this matter. Or you just sit and work on the present tense by taking actions. Okay. Now, sometimes this is a little bit of a deeper thing which cannot be easily explained. There could be something called spiritual low self-worth. That is, sometimes when you're not spiritually inclined, you will also have low self-esteem. Basically, you would have lost faith. And that means next you will lose hope. So that is why it's very important to have faith in something. Then you know that I am worthy on this life, on this earth, living, and I'm taken care of. You know, that is what is the spiritual way of feeling important, or having self-worth. Now, why should we have self-worth? Tell me why.
It
What
helps you to, it helps us to live life with using our full potential.
You are not scared of doing what you are doing.
Yeah.
Right? That's good. And it'll give us a lot of confidence. And it'll also tell you who is not good to you. And so you create a boundary and keep them out and all that, if you know your self-worth. If you don't know your self-worth, you are just allowing everybody to come in and ruin yourself. But if you know very well about how good are you, if someone tells something, say, okay, fine, that's what maybe you believe, that I know what I am. That's how you create the boundary. And you'll be able to make better decisions. You don't have to depend on anyone else, right? Because you know that what you are capable of. Okay, you don't have to go on asking them, should I do? Should I not do it? Am I wrong? Am I right? All that is not required. Then it also helps you to find meaning in your life. Maybe you're specifically liking to do something and you're so good at it. If you know your self-worth, you will seek what is that you should do, right? And so overall quality of life is good and you can be harmonious with other people. So you will probably have inspiring people around you, kind of thing. Because if you are a narcissistic people, you will realize that there is nobody around you. Suddenly everything is a silence, except one or two people whom you are using as doormat. It's the bonding entanglement with them. And they also feel extremely tired, actually. I have seen and heard also narcissistic people feel extremely tired in their life because they're putting all their effort in having that mask around them. They can be so genuine and life will become easy. They don't realize that. Anyway, so these are all, and respect. You will expect the respect. And there will be a love, some kind of love between all the people you have. Okay, so now a lot of things you might have identified that you are not doing, you don't have. It's all right. This whole idea is to figure out, and is there any way that I can slowly bring it into my life cordially? So the whole idea is that. So what we need to do is, of course, we have series of questions to answer. Okay, and which will give us insight to what we are doing and some few recommendations so that you can try and change your scene. Yeah? Okay. So, Parveen, what is your question?
It was at it just a minute. It was at that point when you're talking about insecurity, I was telling that it is the financial insecurity the most.
Everything.
Yes.
It is not just that, Parveen. Lot of other things. Many people, even if they are not financially insecure, if they realize that I am not treated well and I'm not going anywhere like this, there is no change or hope, they will walk out.
They become a doormat because of the financial insecurity.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Not just because of financial insecurity. I know some few people who are doing well in their work, career, everything, but still they're doormats because there is a need for belongingness. There is need for love and all of that. So I give you this, you give me that. I'll be the doormat. You do whatever nonsense you do with me, but I will provide whatever you want. Because I want to be belonged here. Because I don't know outside how I can belong. You know, all kinds of these things are there. What Hillinger says, no sex is free.
In other way, we can say that they don't want to move into they're so much into their comfort zone, the so-called where they are. They don't want to move away from that comfort zone.
Yeah. Sometimes even abusers, we call it my comforts. It's also could be like, I don't know how I'll manage outside world alone. I may have good money, I might be earning everything, but outside my setup of the family, I don't know how to live. I don't know what society will tell me. All of these things will make, not just the financial thing. Right?
Don't want to move out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
What did you say Bert Hellinger said?
No sex comes
No sex.
free. Yeah.
No sex comes free.
Yeah. Comes free. F-R-E-E.
So every sex that you have with somebody is transactional and for a
It's
purpose.
always a give and take.
But what if there is actually some sex that is not transactional?
It cannot be. And he's right.
Okay.
You're always getting something out of that relationship, and that person is getting something out of it. And that is why it is existing.
And even if there's no relationship, is it about how the sex is making you feel?
Yeah, that is the transaction.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So let's start writing the questions. No, let's start writing the answers. I get to say the questions, not you. Okay. So you have your books. Okay. So, you know, self-worth is, let's assume that you're all alone in a forest and you have never seen another human being. And you're very comfortably living there because you know how to live. So according to you, you should be having 100% self-worth, right? But because no one is around you, you don't know your self-worth. So the funny thing about self-worth is you'll understand it only when you have other people around you. Otherwise, you don't require self-worth.
In comparison.
Yeah, it's always in comparison. So there is somebody or something, like it can be a job, it can be something or a situation which repeatedly happens, or it's somebody, okay, who is making you feel not good enough. Okay. So write down, is it a situation or is it a person? If it's a situation, definitely there'll be similar people there. One example which I would like to give is probably your career. Maybe you keep jumping your offices and everything, but you will never feel nice in your career. So similar people are like bosses who will always mess up with your self and they'll make you feel low self-worth.
What is the question?
So there is always a situation or a person who is making you feel not good enough. Okay. So what is in your case? All of these are going to only make you retrospect. So in a way to find out is, if this person goes away, or if you leave this job or whatever that situation, go away, you'll suddenly start feeling good. That is how you'll identify. And whenever this person comes back, it starts. It can be for a reason. It is like, I feel so good about everything. But the moment something related to taking care of the house or keeping the house maintained, everybody is like bad about me. I don't feel good enough. So there is something, some situation or an event or something, when it comes to that, everybody will make you feel low. It's like, I am so good, everything. I'm trying to take care of my mother-in-law who is bedridden. Now everybody blame me. I feel low. How much ever I do, they are not happy. Then in that case, the mother-in-law who is bedridden is the reason, or the people around who are related to the mother-in-law is the reason. So things like that. Sometimes even our children can be making us feel that we are not good enough. We are not blaming anybody here. This will only help us. Where do I have to work on myself? Also to put a boundary. You are not going to sign up yourself for all of these things because you are a wife, because you are a mother, because you are a daughter-in-law, because you are a subordinate, whatever that is. You run a business and all your customers make you feel doormat. There's something terribly wrong with that business. So like that it is. Okay. So you wrote that. Which of these?
Eshanye, is it something wrong with the business or something wrong with you?
Your business, no. Ultimately, it's us. Ultimately, it is us only. It is, that's where I'm trying to say, we are not to blame anyone because we don't have self-worth.
Yeah, it's us. It's not the business. Because if you change the business
Absolutely.
again, it will be bad if you.
Yeah. Finally, it comes down to us. It is not even the problem of the child, problem of the husband, problem of the mother-in-law, problem of your boss. It is the problem is here. Internal work. Self-worth especially is an internal work. Okay. So, go a little more deeper. Specifically, what are those instances, maybe it has happened in the recent past, when you have encountered, where you feel that you are lesser or you are not good enough. You feel low. You felt you don't have any value. No one gave you any value. Just maybe one or two sentences like, okay, that day when I heard like this, I felt like this, something like that. Okay. Now, you write, how does that make you feel? Write the emotion. Did you feel helpless? Did you feel victim? Did you feel insecure? Did you feel that I have to argue so much and I don't like this? I feel constricted. I feel I'm in a cage. What is that feeling you felt? That you write. And I have a question.
Eshanye, is lesser than also equal to taken for granted? Are they same?
If that makes you feel helpless or like tired, it's like I'm really worth something, but then they're making me lesser, and it kind of make you drained out and irritated. Why can't they see me, what I am? Types. Okay. So just one second. Parveen, is it possible to lower your hand? I don't know how to do it here. That's why I just asked. Okay. So then, when you felt like this in the recent past, insecure, helpless, whatever, a victim or something, what was your first response? I shouldn't be saying response. I should be saying what was your first reaction to this feeling? You know, when we are reacting to the feelings we are feeling, not to the person outside. Whenever we react anything, it is for our own feeling is bringing out this kind of a reaction. So what was your reaction? Did you go feeling sad and you sat in your own room, or you started arguing, or you started becoming physical and hitting somebody, or you just went out of the room, or how probably would the day go for you? See, you may never want to address this outside this session, unless there is a therapeutic session you are attending in a normal day-to-day life, because we don't want to remind ourselves how all these things are happening to ourselves. That is why this is an extremely good opportunity to just write it down fully, and then sort of you are completed. So now you can take charge. That's the whole idea. So now,
However, Eshanye, however we react to a situation, whether we walk out or we are irritated or I don't know, whatever the reaction may be, how do we, I mean, writing about it will kind of make us face it and therefore it'll go away?
it is like it'll make you feel know what you do. So next time, before you do that, you probably change your response differently so that you stop this pattern. So we need to identify what am I behaving every time? Am I shutting off? Am I becoming a deaf person? Because that's not going to help us. We need to change something in us, then the situation can change. In this whole world, whatever we are undergoing, the only way to change is by changing ourselves. I'm not telling accepting, but we need to change. We need to experiment with a different behavior. Okay. So next question is, how often this happens to you? In a month, if you want to think. That will give you your measure of low self-worth. Is it like throughout my life this has been happening? Then it's high time that you woke up. Or is it like, okay, like how Parveen said earlier, it was like that for me, but now it's so much better. Okay, fine, we agree. That's how it should be.
Also, I can share it also because earlier I felt in some social gatherings, people prioritize certain people, as in our neighbors, there were some few doctors and all that status wise, the people preferred them in a social gathering. So there I felt like reacted, felt humiliated, or you can say, what can you say? It was something humiliation. I just wanted to walk out from that place.
I've been there.
But now I don't bother out anyone.
Exactly. That's where your self-worth has increased. So naturally, you don't bother. It happens. It's very organic when it grows. You know, it's very natural. But it's true. I agree. I was also been there in the same situation as what Parveen is saying. In many, many times. And it's like a cycle. I've come out of it and another new situation. Again, I've gone into the cycle. Again, I've come out. Ultimately, I realized, hello, I am what I am. And everything in my life, I need to use it for my advantage. Every bit of my goodness, my family goodness, my ancestral goodness, everything I will use it for my advantage. There is no question to play low self.
So it's not so much about outside, in my experience. It's mostly more the closer people to you, if at all, hurt you or say not or are not appreciative. That is mostly family.
That also you will have to grow. It is like I have a different face outside and I'm so comfortable and good and everything. But when I come home, I lose that. I drop that face somewhere outside and I enter it because this doesn't fit here.
Your
And that's why the,
expectations are different.
yeah,
Your expectations are different for your closer.
that is correct. But this self-worth is underlying crux of what you are made up of. That cannot be wrong. It is just that how you want to handle this, showcase, realign yourself in the family. That's required. You have to bring that self-worth which is outside you show even inside. And that will naturally happen. Again, I'm telling you, all of these are very organic. You have to make sure that you're good. Everywhere you feel good about yourself. And you have to give value to yourself everywhere.
Even if it's karmic?
It can be karmic. As I said, it can come from your ancestor or past life or anything. It can be karmic too. But the present adult, the present personality has the power to change anything they want. Remember that present personality has so much of power, nothing can do anything if they wish. And self-worth is one of the source of that power. Okay, so where were we? Now, how often you felt? And which area of this life is happening? Like how Neha said, inside it, my relationships are not so whatever, I'm not feeling so worthy of, but outside I'm all right. There could be, it could be interchanging itself. It will be. It's just that such a situation outside happens, you'll go once fully down. You will go. It has not happened so far. For example, I'll tell you in the beginning of my therapist work, in the beginning of my therapist work, if I don't get client for a week, I would feel, oh my God, maybe I'm not good. Why people are not coming? Maybe I'm not good. It will start very naturally. You'll start. In fact, you'll go around with all your therapy friends and therapist friends and you'll ask them, are you getting everybody? Are you getting everybody? You are just measuring yourself like a fool. What I'm trying to say is, in the outside world, maybe you're feeling all fine, good. There may come one situation which will give you, if you do not have self-worth somewhere else, it will reflect that. It takes some time to grow, but in the end, you will grow, provided you want to grow and you remove, kind of change or remove or readjust these sources which are making you feel low. It's extremely important to do that. Otherwise, you will continue to change, continue to feel the same way, and you'll never grow. Okay.
Is it most of the time our boundaries which are in question?
It is. It is. If you realize how good you are, you'll start putting the boundaries so that nobody can even make you feel that. You know, in such situation, I will tell you what I do now. I'm giving that answer. I'm giving the answer from the current therapist to my younger therapist, let's say. I will make use of that time learning something different, experimenting it. I can even do free sessions to experiment. That's how you'll increase your self-worth. But at that time, that's not important. How many clients came, how much it did, whether it had changed in anything in them. These are all nonsense actually. Because we doubt ourselves. When you start becoming powerful, you will find opportunity. You will create opportunity for yourself. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. It just doesn't bother me anymore, you know. I wish that I get the full freedom this whole week. This is how I wish many times. because I get to do a lot of things which only increases my self-worth.
Also, Eshanye, as a therapist, it's not only your job to, do the work.
It is not at all your job,
Yeah.
actually. You're only going to hold space.
Exactly.
That realization also will happen when your self-worth goes high. And when you respect yourself. If you do not respect, nobody can respect you. Neither your clients. Trust me. So, why were you? So, is there a pattern you observe in yourself? It's like we are answering the questions and then I'm saying the question, no? It's something like that it's become. Is there a pattern you are observing in your career, in your relationship? This pattern can be every time. This is what the question I get to answer, and this is how the reaction I am giving. And back and forth, back and forth. So some days it's beautiful and everything, and then again it just goes back. And it goes back with the same thing. If there are different things coming up, like in relationships are fine sometimes and they're not fine times. I agree. But when they're not fine sometimes, is it the same pattern which is happening? And that too is related to self-worth, is what I'm asking the question. Okay. Now, if you found a pattern, observe that pattern. There will be some point which you can actually break it. So the pattern is like a circle. Okay? It's like a circle. Let's say this is a circle. I'm showing you a circle. There is a point here which I can break. That is this point. There is a weak point. You need to find that and you need to use that and break it. In you, not in others. In you. Maybe the reaction is the weak point. Or maybe your belief that I am not good is the weak point. Or maybe the expectation which you have built up in your head that they are expecting this from you is maybe the weak point. Something is wrong there. That is like a loophole. You need to use that and break the pattern. Now, what is this weak point? That you need to sit and understand. It's most easier when it happens next time. Take a step back before reacting. Sit there and think. What is this weak point which I need to reframe, rechange, break it, disprove? Not exactly disprove. Don't get affected by it. Okay? So, how can I break
Eshanye,
it?
can you just repeat this last? Find the weak point. Your self-esteem or what others are expecting from you, and
It's not
something
self-esteem. It's not self-esteem. It is the expectation you have made in your head that others are expecting from you. It may not be true, but you are thinking like that. So, others' expectation as per your perception or your reactions or your belief systems or your mistake. You went and yelled at your mother-in-law and the whole world is now on you. It's a mistake. Why did you do that? If you're a smart person, you will keep quiet and you'll handle it differently. It's like that. And let's assume that you are a teacher and there are a lot of children and they're not listening to you. And slowly you will feel that no one actually listens to me. I'm not a good teacher. Okay? If that is a pattern, there is somewhere that you are not conveying who you are to the students. That is a weak point. So you will find out a method in which everybody will come into line. So if the spouse is not being very nice, being friendly, or being being in the same boat kind of a thing, putting you down, let's assume. You have to understand that what mistake are you doing that they feel that way. That is the weak point. There's always place for improvement for us. That is why we need to find out what mistake I'm doing that this pattern is repeating every time.
It could be just the tone of your voice. That
It could
also.
be. It could absolutely. Or your attention is somewhere else that you missed it. And you misinterpreted it. You didn't pay attention is the weak point, or let's call it change point. Okay, it's not weak point, which enables you to change. Or it is like the anxiety is so high that you are not able to open for new behavior. Even before they could say anything, you're like a fighter quack. You have just come up and then you are like about to scream at this person, irrespective of what they're planning to say. And the way you frame your sentences is why everything goes for a toss. So anxiety is then the point at which you have to observe and you have to bring it down. That will be the change point. So these are the things. Okay. Now, what you can do to change this or to stop this pattern? Whatever incidents you're just writing about, think about that only and write. It's always better to take one example, which probably so far you're writing. And in that situation, maybe I should have done like this, something like that. Or next time when it happens, you need to think. So what is that? Or you can even say, what stops you from stopping this pattern?
Shani, can we say we become aware of it, learn lesson from the things?
What does it say it again?
We become aware of the things, what has happened, become aware.
By
writing also you become aware of it, na? Whatever
yes, of course.
You become aware of it. And the other way is that we learn lesson from what the behavior, what the situation is from that.
No. We can learn lessons in a nice way. We don't have to become doormat. Definitely, we are not choosing these patterns to learn lesson.
Our reaction should be that we become aware and leave
Correct. The whole idea is to become aware and also to change that pattern.
To change that. This is what I've been doing also.
Yes.
So this is
absolutely.
This is where I reached.
Yeah. What is the benefit you are getting out of these patterns? That is why this is like, why have you become, like how Parveen said, maybe financial reasons, or maybe I don't know how do I live outside, so I rather bear this thing, or I have a belief system that once I'm married, I'm like my identity is lost or whatever that is. So what is the benefit for you which you are thinking that is you are stuck in this pattern? What is the benefit you have that you prefer to have low self-esteem? Or unconsciously you are choosing to have low self-esteem? I said unconsciously. Nobody wants to do it consciously, but unconsciously we all do that. Now, next question is, what is the cost you are paying for undergoing this? Meaning, I have a terrible relationship and I'm not happy about it. Or I get hurt a lot. Or I want to keep my parents' esteem high. So I will succumb to this. Or I have a child and I want to show myself as a mother to him. And I will become a person who will take on everything. Or I have old parents or in-laws, and I don't have any choice. But you can take care of them, but you don't allow them to make you feel low. That means to say maybe you're not treating them well or something is happening there that requires some bit of a change, or communicating that, hello, I'm taking care of you, you better be all right with that and show me some respect. So all of this will tell you how courageous you can become, what changes you can do it, and how to put a boundary around yourself, how to enhance your growth. Now, I want you all to write just 3 options, 3 possibilities, what you can do so that you change this and you find value for yourself in the situation wherever you are in. Write 3 possibilities or 3 options probably you should adopt so that you feel good about yourself. Like, for example, if that younger therapist of mine should probably say that, learn something new, or, invite people, or find out why you think that they're not coming. Maybe it's the weather condition outside is so bad that they'll come later. So something like that, you need to figure it out, why it is like that.
Can you repeat that? Right? 3
possibilities or options or choices you have, which you can adopt so that you will raise your value. You'll feel better about yourself. It can also be, please go away from this relationship.
Okay, thank you.
It can be any of that. Okay. Now, you wrote it, these 3. Do you have courage to do all of that? Next question would be that. Do you have courage to do that? If you do not have courage, then there must be a belief which is stopping that. So identify that belief. These beliefs are either you have taken it from someone who has told you as a child. It's like it'll come like a word in your head, or some circumstances which would have happened in your life. That is why you are got this belief, and that belief is helping you to mask your value. And as a response of that, you are not having great time in your life. Okay. Now, we change the scene a bit.
So if we already know the belief that is making us be the way we are, let's say, so how do we go about changing that?
Exactly. Now is the question for all of them. What are you good at? Write it down. Maybe it's a long list. You can write 4 or 5 here and then leave some space so that you really continue that after the session. This is extremely important to write what we are good at.
But Eshanye, sometimes if you have low self-esteem, you don't know what you're good at.
Deep down you will. But then because of all of these beliefs and everything, and the benefit by what you are getting being so low, whatever self-worth, you will shut it off. But that is why the next question is, write 3 items of those which you are good at, which people have noticed. Because as Anna said, it's difficult not to know what I am good at. It's very difficult sometimes to know what we are good at because of the situation we are in. And also we are in the situation for a long time. And also we are probably not seeing an end of it. So it's like, what's the point knowing it that I'm good in that, right? Where do I use it? Kind of a thing. That is why if people have noticed it, because genuinely what you're good at, people would have noticed it somewhere in your life. Okay? Now, when you think about it, how much enthusiasm you get it? Probably to do that, to continue it, to start it. Just look at it very objectively, not subjectively. It's like, oh, I used to dance when I was a little child. Now I am not interested because my knees ache. That is different. Are you enthusiastic about it? Do you feel that energy gushing in when you think about it? That's what matters. Now the next question is, which thought, which belief, or who is stopping your enthusiasm? Why can't you go beyond them or that thought? Is it possible for you to promise yourself that I will go one day beyond that? Can you give yourself that promise? I will solve this. I will feel good someday. One day I will go beyond and I'll show you how nice it is, how worthy I am. And I will enjoy all that I thought I will enjoy using my own self. So the last question is, if this is for those people, it is, if it's difficult to write down what are you good at kind of a thing, this question will make it a little easy for them. If you have lost everything in your life, what would you still have? That one thing which would be of value. Let's assume that something happens to this earth and you're dumped in the Mars or something like that and you have lost everything of yours. But you are there for yourself. Now tell me, what would you still have, that one thing which would be of value? It is telling yourself, hello, this is valuable in me, okay? That's basically the whole thing.
So it could also be issue of faith and hope, right? That everything will be resumed
You
again,
are
right?
you're a person who will always have hope, or you're a person who have faith that I know that I can change it. I can change even Mars. I was thinking, okay, I will have a series of Q for Mars people to have therapy on. Why not? I will figure it out. It's like that.
Can it be creativity, positivity?
Whatever that is.
That is within you yourself only.
Because when you realize this is exactly you are going to use now when everybody is around you. When everything is around you, it can be very easy to use this value. It's very difficult to start from zero level. But when you have everything already, it is very easy to do. It's just that you're not either having courage or that benefit is there, no, by being this doormat. That is why you are there. Break that. Nothing will happen. Nobody will go away. Nobody will throw you out. You're only going to make one big difference in their life. You need to have the courage. And you need to have a good behavior. It's not like
courage जो
go
होगा
murder them.
देखा जाएगा when we come to it.
Say it again.
The courage to believe जो होगा देखा जाएगा.
It is fine, but you can't say that and remain to be a doormat.
You have to take action, no, for that.
That's exactly the point. You have to take action, and that action needs courage and a thing of, hello, I need to do something in my life. Already time is gone a lot. And I'm not going to murder people around me. I'll be very nice and I will find a way in which I'll make it happen. Because when that happens, when the life changes, it's life changing for everybody. not just you. One tip I'll give you. It is some beliefs and all you've written already, right? You've written some few things, what you discovered, now you wrote. Try to make an affirmation for yourself and repeatedly keep on telling yourself every day in and day out, at least for 3 months. Try that. You'll be surprised how it works. My favorite affirmation, which I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you those sentences, but then what you put there is your business. You can either create it like a meditation for yourself or just take 5 minutes and then just pray within your own mind with utmost focus and see what happens. Last week we did about sexuality and sensuality, how to transform the sexual energy. You can use these same sentences and transform also. Practically, you can use it anywhere and then try how it changes for you. Okay. One is, this is my favorite one. I transform and transcend to my authentic self. I transform and transcend to my self-worth. I transform and transcend to my authentic self-value. Basically use I transform and transcend to and then write whatever you want, okay? This is how it is, okay? And the next sentence is, I awaken my authentic self. Or you say, I awaken my self-worth. Or you say, I awaken my greatest personality. I awaken my respect.
Gracious.
Greatest self.
I awaken my potential.
Yeah, please. You can say, I awaken my potential. I awaken the respect. I awaken my self-respect. I awaken this greatest therapist on this world. What else? You can awaken anything you want. Basically, you know, there are something called archetypes, right? Archetypes are, king is an archetype. Are you a queen? I always tell myself I'm like a queen bee and everybody work for me. Recently, I got to know queen bees exist only for 3 months, okay? Okay, that's a different thing. Anyway, but I feel like queen bee and the whole world is doing for me. This is why. This is an archetypal thing. Now, your archetype could be being a victim. So this awaken statement actually awakens the archetype. Now, if you feel Marilyn Monroe is the greatest personality, oh, I awaken the Marilyn Monroe in me. You can do that. Okay, so awaken is actually awakening that kind of the energy. And the third sentence is, I synchronize with my authentic self. That is, it tells that it's already there in you. You have off tune, so you tune yourself into it. So you say, I synchronize with my self-worth. I synchronize with my authentic self. I synchronize with Marilyn Monroe. I synchronize with whatever you do it, which is at the level of the frequency. So these 3 things you form, and then with at most focus, just you call that pray. Pray to your own self with your own heart, or pray to your God, or pray to whatever you want with the complete focus for 5 minutes at least, full focus, no distraction. When you stop that and open your eyes, you should feel a little dizzy, that much focus, because that is when you get into alpha state. Alpha state is a state where you can transform anything. Okay? Yes?
Yes.
We are done. 6:25. People
Oh
got
my
shocked.
God.